Hello everyone, good day, good afternoon to you all. I hope everyone is doing well in their respective spaces. So this afternoon I'm going to be sharing a little bit on the INDECO Pathways Development Program session that we had on Tuesday, last week Tuesday, and I hope that you can all tune in and learn a bit about the topic that we have covered, which is on communication, the foundation of communication. So, what is communication? Communication is the process of exchanging information, ideas, thoughts, and feelings between a group of people or certain groups. And this can be made possible through elements such as the sender, who is the person who is sending the message, the medium or how the message is being transported or communicated, and the receiver who the message is communicated to. There are also various factors that contribute to how a message is being communicated or how it is being received. So, there are a few examples, and the first one is the tone of your voice. So, the way we use our voice or the way we change the tone of our voice to deliver a particular message sort of contributes to how the message is received on the other side. So, the way we use the tone of our voice can either enhance or can hinder the effectiveness of the message that we are trying to bring across to other people. The second factor is the body language that we use when we are communicating with people. So, body language communication is the non-verbal signals that we use whilst communicating, and this has an impact also on the message and how it is delivered to the recipient of that message. During this session, we also went through an important topic called active listening, which is a skill that so many of us struggle with. I was a facilitator with the Senisim PNG program, and one of the values that we covered or we went through was listening. And I realized that many times we listen to other people only to answer, and we don't listen to fully understand what the conversation is about or what this particular person is trying to relate to us. For example, when someone is speaking, we're looking directly into their eyes, but we're not understanding what this particular person is saying or trying to relate to us. All we're doing is we're just listening to respond. So when this person finishes talking, then we respond with what we have heard when they were talking, but we do not understand the depth of the conversation that just transpired. Alright, so what did I learn from this session that we had on Tuesday? I learned that whilst communication is important, it's a very important factor, especially in relationships that we have with other people. It's also important to be aware of how we communicate with other people. The style of communication that we use is also very important. The tone of voice that we use, our body language, there are factors that contribute to how we communicate with people. Not only that, being able to actively be present and participate in a conversation with another person is also important. This ensures that what is being communicated is beneficial to both parties, and both parties are actively participating in the conversation and not just one party of that conversation. During this session, I was also able to identify and discover my communication style, which is very important and surprisingly interesting because a lot of times we conduct ourselves in a manner where we don't think that there is a process to it, but there is. For instance, my communication style, I never knew that I had a certain type of communication style, but going through this session with Brian and the rest of the participants in the mentorship group, I realized that there is a term, there is a process for the way that I communicate, the way that I behave around other people. And I feel like that's important. So, to young people out there, young leaders, if you have not identified your communication style, it's important that you do, so that you're able to be aware of how you act around other people, how you communicate with other people. And that's the basic foundation of communication. Once you know that, once you know your way of communication, you're able to communicate in the way that you want to, and pass on messages or deliver messages, information in the way that you want to. That's all from Tuesday's session. I hope that you learned a little on communication, the basics of communication, and how the various factors affect the message that we try to give off to our audience, our participants, or people who we communicate with.